Hi, my name's Amy. I'm the daughter of Pastor Peter and teacher Donna. I have grown up at Green Valley, literally. I started homeschooling when I was in 8th grade and spent many of my days in the church office doing homework and helping to fold hundreds of bulletins. I was always active in the youth group and helped with children's ministries like VBS in the summer and Wednesday night adventure classes. I love our church and have always known that this was home.
I'm Matthew. I started attending Green Valley when I was 14. At first I just came to the youth group but started attending church services shortly thereafter. I have been homeschooled since I was in 4th grade. My mom was the best teacher. She thought of homeschooling as a privilege, and she worked hard to instill in me a passion for history, government, a knowledge of the Bible, and an attitude to serve God.
We met when I was 12 years old. I remember the first time I met Matthew to camp. It was at the harvest party hosted by the church in 1999. I was in charge of face painting that night. I cannot tell you how many lopsided flowers, shooting stars, fluffy kittens, and elaborate butterflies I painted on the cheeks of little cowgirls, superheroes, and princesses. Then he walked up to me. Who is this high school man, I thought, with a shaved head and blue eyes? He's so cute. Oh, don't blow this, Amy. He stared at me for a second, which to me felt like a good 5 minutes, and then he asked me, "Will you paint a bullseye on my head?" "Sure," I said. And that's the romantic story of how we first met. We went to the same youth group all growing up, but never really talked. He was way too cool for me, and I was too shy to say anything, but I always had my eye on him. It wasn't until I was 16 and he was 18 that we really started to talk. We were both signed up for the missions trip to Mexico that summer, a family missions trip that we both had been going to every summer for the past 4 years. That Friday night before we left, he walked up to me and randomly just said hi out of the blue. After that hello, I was hooked. I'll admit it, I stalked him from that point on. We finally made it to Mexico, down to Door of Faith, and we started talking more and spending a lot of our free time together, sitting under the covered patio and just talking. A lot of our free time. I was so smitten. That Sunday after we got back to the States, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I very happily, yet smoothly, said yes.
Every summer for the next 4 years while we were dating, we went back to Door of Faith Orphanage, the place where we fell in love, the place we fell in love with. We both loved being down and spending time with the kids and working hard on building projects. That was as much of a blessing for us as it was for the people we were helping. We were able to use our God-given talents to help those that needed the most. What a great feeling, the feeling of knowing I changed someone's future. No matter how big or small it may seem, I did something for someone else which directly changed them for the better. We grew so much in those times, both individually and as a couple. After dating for 3 years, we finally said, "I do," and promised that we would keep God in the center of our marriage and prayed He would guide our steps.
Marriages go as marriages do. We had our ups and downs like every couple, but for the most part I had no complaints, besides the typical toilet seat being left up and dirty socks being left everywhere. I took a lot of pride in our marriage. We got married for what most people say is really young. I was 19 and he was 21. But nonetheless, we had made a commitment to God and to ourselves, and like I said, I was happy. But last summer, right before our 3-year anniversary, we hit a wall.
We allowed our eyes to be shifted from God to other worldly desires. We somehow lost sight of the foundation we set our marriage upon. We left a crack in the wall of our marriage that Satan got through. He got a hold of my mind for a while, and I didn't think there would be a we anymore. We both said things to the other that were not of God, and told the other at times we were through. We got sold into the world's idea of marriage is supposed to be a certain way, and if it's not, then it's okay to quit. That I'm only in this marriage to be happy, to be satisfied, to get what I want. When I'm no longer happy or satisfied, then something must be wrong with our marriage. Maybe we made a mistake 3 years ago, getting married so young, not experiencing life as some of our peers tell us.
Matthew and I were sinking fast. I can't tell you how hard of a summer that was for us. It was so devastating to see our marriage, something that I had so much faith and security in, just being torn down like it was meaningless. But I am so thankful I had such a strong family to help me stay focused on making our marriage work and not to give up. My dad connected us with Dr. Don Phillips, and he met with us every week to help get our marriage back on solid ground and centered around God.
Ever since last summer, we committed to making our marriage stronger than ever. Not just to make it work, but to make it strong. Unfortunately, with our work schedules, it's nearly impossible for us to go to church together, which makes staying centered around God individually and in our marriage hard, but we were committed. Earlier this year, Aimee told me she thought we should go to the missions trip to Mexico. We had missed the last 2 years due to our busy work schedules. Mexico was the place we fell in love, the place where we could go serve others together. What more could I ask for than to serve God with my hands, with my wife by my side? We both got the week off from work, and we were off.
While down there, we were both hit hard with how much we loved the orphanage and how strong we were when we could wake up every morning together and do daily devotions and pray. Praying together was just something we never did for one reason or another as a couple. But last month in Mexico, we prayed together, just the two of us, for the first time. It's something that you don't really think about, but it was something that was life-changing for our marriage. Being down in Mexico, where you see so many people with so little, yet they're just as happy as you and I, made us really rethink our priorities. We had been working so hard to be successful, to own a house, 2 nice cars, and have money saved up in the bank. But at that moment, we were in Mexico, sleeping in a tent on the floor. No 5-star accommodations for us, yet we were happy, feeling more satisfied than we have in the past 4 years while we have been building up our heaven here on earth.
While in Mexico, we both felt the calling to serve long-term in the orphanage. In years past, I had felt moved to serve in Mexico, but it was hard to give up everything I was doing in my life. I had to worry about providing for my family. I was working toward my career, saving up money for a house. But now seems like the perfect time. We already have our house rented out and have been saving money while living with my family. We have nothing holding us back. We came back to the States and committed to praying about it together for a couple weeks. We made time every day to pray about it together. Just that simple step has grown our marriage tenfold. We realized very shortly after started praying that that is definitely where God is calling us. 2 weeks ago, we went back to Mexico to test out the waters and talk to DJ and Lynette more about serving long term. After the first day serving at the orphanage, it was clear that that is where God wanted us. And while down there, we committed to serving at Door of Faith for 1.5 years, starting this February. Something that we're both really looking forward to.
While down in Mexico, we'll be living at the orphanage. Our primary responsibility will be to help facilitate the American groups that come down to serve. We'll be doing a lot of backstage work and all the day-to-day duties that come with running a household of 102. We can't wait to start this great adventure and are looking forward to sharing our experiences with our family and friends. Thank you.